Okay, for this recording, we're going to be doing our Thank You X photo cubes. Now, what I have is the template that I've provided for you guys on Schoology ready to go. So let's begin. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the 3 pictures that I'm going to be using to create this photo cube. So I'm going to go to File, Open, and you can actually open these pictures up simultaneously. So these are 3 pictures that I downloaded from my Instagram account. Okay, and I'm going to open those up all at the same time. And if we look at the top, you can see that they opened up into these 3 different tabs. Okay, and then here's my original. So I'm going to start by selecting it all. Now there's 2 ways you can select the whole thing. Since these are already cropped as squares because they're from Instagram, we don't have to crop them ourselves. However, if you have not cropped your pictures yet, you need them to start as squares. So you would just come over here and then crop to a square. When you're happy, press OK. But like I said, I don't have to move anything because mine are already squares. So yeah, it's not going to hurt to crop it. So I'm just going to go to select all. Okay, and I've done that. And then I'm going to press Control C, which is copy. It's my shortcut keys for copy. So if you look right here, Control C is what we're looking for. So we're going to copy that and we're going to bring it into our artboard. So I'm going to press Control V. Okay, and here is the start of my cube. Now I'm just going to leave it there because that's where I need it to start. And I could press Control T and transform it to this whole half and be happy to. So there we go. Okay, so I'm going to go to the next one and I'm going to go to select all. I'm going to copy, Control C, bring it over, Control V, and then Control T is going to help me transform my cube to fit that space. Now because these are squares and I'm putting it into a square position, I don't have to hold Shift. However, if you are just playing with it yourself and you didn't have these guides on here, you'd hold Shift to make sure they maintain that square shape. That's really important. Okay, and now I'm going to go grab my last one. So select all, Control C is copy, Control V is paste, and I'm actually going to put this right here, and I'm going to transform it. Now, if you look off to the right side, you can see that I already have 3 layers because every time I brought a new image in, it went on its own separate layer. Okay, so right now, Evelyn's on the top, Ainsley's in the middle, and my son Bryce is on the bottom. Okay, so those are all good to go. I'm actually going to start with Bryce's layer to kind of show you what we're going to be doing. So let me move Evelyn over. Okay, let me grab Bryce's layer. It's selected, and I'm going to be using our Distort function. So if we go to Edit, Transform, we're going to be using Distort. Okay, and we need to make this look like it's going back into perspective. So I'm going to drag these 2 up. Okay, make sure everything else is good. And that's our first box. So basically I just move them all up 1 brick. And I press enter. So now it looks like it's kind of going off. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work on Ainsley's box. So I'm going to do the same thing. Edit, Transform, Distort. Okay, move it up. And then move the next one up. And we've made the bottom of our box now. So if I move Evie over, you can see that Ainsley's in the right spot too. Now this one gets a little bit tricky. If I start with it over here, then this corner is going to stay here because we're essentially bending it into place. If I start with it over here, then this corner is going to stay here. So I'm thinking visually, I like this better. So I'm going to go to Image once again, or sorry, Edit, Transform, Distort. Okay. And I'm going to pull this to meet the cube here. Pull my next one to the corner on the top. And pull my next one to the corner tab there. I'm going to take a look and see how everything looks, and I'm pretty satisfied. Now, if something doesn't look right, like there's a gap or something you feel is just a little bit off, you have a couple options. You can either play with your arrow keys to kind of move it around, which is what I just did to make it look better. That makes me happy. Or you can just step backwards and then re-distort your image. Once you transform it, once you distort it, you can't distort it again. You'd have to like bring the picture back in, because if I was to try to distort it, do you see how my box is already a little wonky? Okay, so we didn't want to do that. Okay, so this is my first cube. Remember, for this project, you're going to need to make 3 cubes, and you'll be using 9 pictures from your photo challenge. So let me save this. File, save as. And I'm just going to save this as MacArthur. Make sure you're in your drive, not the download folder. MacArthur Photo Cube 1. Once as a PSD. And then remember, I'm going to save it again, and once as a JPEG. And there you have it, all done and ready to go.